Welcome to this channel. This channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So, in the last YouTube I released 3 days ago, I shared that the soul of Wing Chun, or the most fundamental of Wing Chun Xiu Lim Tao practice, is to develop the mindfulness or a sustainable awareness. Mindfulness means sustainable awareness. And the analogy is like, if I have a camera, I'm taking picture of you, I need to hold that camera for a sustainable durations in order to take a clear picture of you. If I cannot hold that camera, my hand keeping waving, I'm not going to take a clear picture of you. So mindfulness equal to sustainable awareness. The longer the time we can sustain the awareness, the deeper our calmness. Now, this is the serious stuff. So the first thing in the 1850s, Xiu Lim Tao said, is that one need to develop this sustainable awareness, or else one will not be able to learn the 1850 Xiu Lim Tao and the entire Wing Chun kit. Now, unless one have this sustainable awareness, one will not aware that there are 6 core elements within that 1850 Xiu Lim Tao, record clearly in details. And every point, every details has to be really clear. Thus, in Cantonese, we say that when you practice Xiu Lim Tao, it needs to be dim dim cheng. Every point has to be clear. Every detail has to be clear. So, only with the sustainable awareness, one be able have a macro and micro, both macro and micro, understanding on Wing Chun. Or else, it is bit and piece here and there scattering around. One have no idea what is going on. So that's how important it is that sustainable awareness, even in life. When we read something, when we learn something, when we listen to other people speak, unless we have a good sustainable awareness, we are going to jump gun and we're not going to learn anything. Not to mention when it comes to a fighting art, it is a war, man. Every details will endanger one if one have no idea what it is. And if you want to talk about internal, the qi, and the yi, and all those tai chi stuff, if you don't have a sustainable awareness, it is called hopeless. It's just like a parrot, keeping repeating on nonsense. Okay, so this is how serious it is. If we do not develop that according to the ancient Wing Chun founder, we will never learn Wing Chun. Not to even say that as a beginner. If you are a beginner, you need to learn that basic. So it cannot be like today. Everybody claim this is grandmaster, that grandmaster, all this grandmaster. For past 130 years, all the Chinese claim that. And where it leads to today. It is this bad that even Xi Xiaodong stood up and said Wing Chun is just for demonstrations. It's not real. It cannot fight. He put that in public. It's in the YouTube. Nobody dare to say a single word. Why? Because you don't know what you are doing. And you're keeping living in your hole. Now, after I share that, many friends asking me how to develop it, and many friends, instead of asking me the important questions, because I'm not going to live here forever to whining at people, they come up with, oh, Hendrik, is that you saying that all grandmasters don't know all this kind of stuff? Well, who cares about who knows, who don't know? As what I say, it is a war. If you do not understand what is going on there, your entire army get wiped out. Nobody have time to sitting down there. This grandmaster know this, that grandmaster know that, or don't know this. You know, for past, you check in the records. For past many decades, isn't it everybody is competing and arguing and quarreling on who is the authentic, who know, who don't know? But until today, you don't even develop the sustainable awareness. So what do you know? All this wasting of time. And so there's a friend who asked me to elaborate more on this sustainable awareness, the importance of it. Well, today I'd like to share with you. If you don't have the sustainable awareness, guarantee you don't know your breathing, period. If you don't know your breathing, you will not know about the stamina development. You will not know about the intra-abdominal development where you take impact, take hit when you fight. Now, so you say, well, how is it? Well, it's simple. If you have sustainable awareness, the real mindfulness, not the nonsense mindfulness everybody talking about, then you know. Let's talk about breathing, human breathing, okay? A proper human breathing. A proper human breathing is that when you inhale, the chest is going to expand 360 degrees. Okay? And this diaphragm, this is going to expand downward here, 360 degrees. So when you inhale, expand, expand, all this 360 degrees like a cylinder. When you exhale, this is contracting. Again, this 360 degrees. This is contracting. Again, this 360 degrees. Now, so in the ancient China, in the Wing Chun 1850, the very basic of to mindful or to sustainable aware of those, whatever in the internal, inside there, the breathing function, is you just do this. So when I do this, this expand, expand, 360 degrees up. When I do this, it is contract, contract. Yes, you have to aware of that for the breathing. If you don't have that, you will not be able to handle your intra-abdominal pressure. You will not be able to handle your internal organs. And forget about the chi stuff. Because the chi, we say, well, I want to sing chi down to Dantian, is at this phase. When this is contracting, the qi travel from via this ren meridian down to the dantian. And of course, when you do this, when you inhale, it is going down to the lower abs, your breathing. You push that diaphragm, you feel like you're breathing into your diaphragm. Of course, you're not breathing to your lower abs, but you will feel that it expands down, okay, like it settles in your lower abs. So all this breathing and qi, they're related together. Okay, so again, the qi, when you exhale, this is contracting, this is contract up. That's where the qi traveling via the ren channel down to your dantian. The heat, isn't everybody talking about the heat, the qi, the warmness? That's where it is. When you inhale, you feel like your breathing get into your lower abs. Of course, your breathing is not going to get into your lower abs because this your lung is here instead of here. But due to when you inhale, the diaphragm expanding, then you feel like it is going down to your lower abs. But you feel that. So when you do Xiu Lim Tao, for example, just the beginning, when you're going down, your hand, guess what? This is contracting. This is contracting. When you're coming up, this is expanding, this is expanding. Contracting, expanding. You have to feel that. Because you feel that to the minimum, you feel your intra-abdominal pressure. And to the minimum, you loosen your body so that your internal organ can have this room to function normally or have a massage due to your deep breathing, deep abdominal breathing or diaphragm breathing. Okay? Now, if you do this, and you do this, like today everybody doing that, or whatever hell this, have nothing to do with the breathing. And in fact, interrupt the natural breathing. You're going to cause problem with your health. How are you going to handle the intra-abdominal pressure or the thoracic pressure to take impact when you fight? How do you handle the qi? You can. But you look at all this Wing Chun today. You look at all the picture, photos, all the YouTube for all this grandmaster, blah, blah, blah. Everybody, you can see that they do not aware of their, when they inhale, this chest has to expand. This diaphragm going down, this expansion. When you exhale, you contract, this contract. They have no idea on that. So they keeping doing something like this, where you block this part. So at your inhale, you just block the entire expansions of your chest. Good luck. And then you're keeping doing the so-called sinking your elbow. When you practice Xiu Lim Tao or you Qi Sao, everything, you're sinking the elbow, meaning you interrupt your chest's natural function. So, how the hell is that? Those type of training in Xiu Lim Tao is the oldest, the most authentic. Be able to strengthen your body, not even to talk about for fighting, just for health, just to have a proper health. You can, because you're violating your bodies. And you talk about qi, Just because you go learn some Tai Chi and then you have your opinion on, oh, this is 1700 Wing Chun, whatever, bullshit Wing Chun. Or there's a snake and there's a crane and all this thing. You have no idea how to handle your breathing. You look at the Western boxer, even as early 1900, they already train breathing. You look at the Okinawa Day, training Sanjin. You look at today's karate, training Sanjin. You look at like the Ngo Gun, the training all this breathing Sanjin. You look at even today's BJJ, they're training breathing. Now you are there, you complete not aware of or mindful of this breathing. So that's how bad it is. You're keeping talking about internal mind power nonsense. If you cannot breathe, you're dead. You're going to damage your body if you force it. So this is an example, a serious thing that if you do not have sustainable mindfulness or sustainable awareness, you will not be able to know your body. And an example I just shared with you, your breathing. You completely do not know what to do. You don't even know it exists. You just say, oh yeah, this Sifu say my elbow have to be this close to the center line. Well, good luck. That's why all this grandmaster taking opium. Why? If you really aware, have this sustainable aware of this, like the monk in Thailand or the Malaysia or the Theravada, who really have the samadhi, the anapanasati training, the breathing training, will they go take opium? Will they go take drug that's to screw up the entire thing? Will it cause their samadhi or stillness or calmness? Of course not. So this is how bad. So that's why in Wing Chun say, in the Cantonese say, Nim Tao Ba Jing, Yasan Ba Jing. If your mindfulness is not developed properly, your entire life is wasted. This is a serious. This is how serious it is. You want to face the fighting arts world of today, where all the science, all everything can be proven, can be verified, can be tracked. You want to face the ancient, where those real monks in Theravada Buddhism, they train that samadhi. Or in Okinawa, they train the Sanjin with their breathing, intra-abdominal pressure. Or you just go every day, Tai Chi, get a student, push, bullshit. Okay? You couldn't even breathe. And is that easy to spot people cannot breathe? Sure. When I was young, 1973, 50 years ago, when I trained in Kyokushin, my Sihan told me, he said, when you fought in the sparring, you pay attention to your opponents. When he is exhaling, when he stops breathing, he is strong. When he inhaling, that's where you want to attack in. That's 50 years ago, when you first start training sparring. And yet 50 years later, all the Wing Chun have this internal Wing Chun, authentic Wing Chun, this Wing Chun, that Wing Chun, all this Wing Chun, your snake Wing Chun, crane Wing Chun, your whatever, dragon Wing Chun, Tai Chi Wing Chun, all this nonsense Wing Chun, and nobody talk about this breathing. And you call that fighting arts? That's why when Xi Xiaodong say, hey, he put in the video, Wing Chun is for demonstration. It cannot be fight. That's in YouTube. You cannot answer it. Why? You're not up to that level of MMA. How can you face it? Keeping daydream? I watched this Yip Man Kung Fu movie. I watched this movie, that movie. Oh, Shaolin movie. Shaolin Wing Chun movie. Look at that. Are you serious? Is that Zen, Buddhist? Those who practice Anapanasati know the breathing. That's why they practice. You know the inhale, you know the exhale. The length of inhale, the length of exhale. The length, the breathing fill up the entire body. So you say, 知息入, 知息出, 知息长, 知息短, 知息偏深. Those are the beginning. Who are you going to kid? And all this breathing is called Anapanasati, breathing. Mindful of your inhale and exhale. Wing Chun have such a deep foundations, such a broad and deep macro and micro system. And yet it turned into this today. So this is enough for you today. Think about it. If you don't have mindfulness, or mindfulness equal to sustainable awareness, you can keep doing your Wing Chun for another 1,000 years. You're not going to know about this breathing stuff. Go check around. For past 130 years, all the writing, did they mention what I share with you today? If not, meaning there is no grandmaster there. And yet, am I a grandmaster? No, I'm not. I'm just sharing with you. Like in the Anapanasati Sutta, it said that you know your inhale, you know your exhale, you know the length of inhale, exhale, you know the full macro view of your inhale, exhale, your breathing. And then about your intra-abdominal pressure, all those things. Those are basic stuff. I am just like a person who have went to school to learn about this thing, the basic. I'm not a grandmaster. But you want to talk about grandmaster, you want to argue on this nonsense, sorry, you cannot argue with the Western boxer, the MMA trainer, the Olympic trainer, the BJJ trainer, the karate trainer. You cannot, because you don't know what they know. You are not mindful of even you don't know. So this is a straight talk to you. So hope that Wing Chuners who really love the art, love yourself, don't want to screw yourself, develop your sustainable mindfulness. Those things are in the 1850s classic, and you can track that in the Buddhist Sutta. So we are not talking about Wing Chun is from Shaolin, but Shaolin what? Or Wing Chun is from Buddhism, Shaolin is from Buddhism, this Bodhidharma. But you don't even know about the very basic of Buddhism, about breathing. And you want to talk about Qi? You want to talk about momentum? Like you facing thing, you say, oh, you know, facing you this way. I can step this back and then come here and then strike you like a triangle. If you're aware of it, that doesn't work. Why? Because it's about momentum, it's not about footwork. When you come, right away the body have to get in to block his body. That's all the momentum play. Again, that require sustainable awareness. It's not like, oh, I know, this is the triangle stack. Because it looks like a triangle. What good is that this? What is important here is NV, your momentum, your mass and your velocity. There's an envy here. And your body in. His envy, your envy. Nobody gonna sit down there moving your leg. And making movie or what? So all this is based on sustainable awareness. Without that sustainable awareness, you will not be able to see things clearly. Similar to, if I want to take a picture of you, I cannot keep shaking my camera and expect to see anything. Today, in Wing Chun, in Chinese Kung Fu, is all this waving camera. Take picture, click, 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 click. But none of those photos there show anything clearly. But nonsense waving thing, and then for people to interpret whatever they want. And then start to argue there. It is a snake, it is a crane, it is snake and crane, it is this and that, but what is that? So I make this YouTube today. Go to the really bottom line. In the past 6 months, 2 of my friends, one is my best friend, passed away. I'm not going to live here long to whining at you guys. So take it and leave it, or take it or leave it. If you want Wing Chun continue on, you need to take a new direction. The direction for past 130 years is completely causing bankruptcy. That's for sure already. You don't have to prove it. Because by evidence, this is so already.